Well, throughout the week, we've brought you lighthearted stories about cool teachers in West Michigan.
Today, we'll tell you about a teacher whose students say has a heavy heart. And still, it's filled with so much love. And WZZM 13 education reporter Sherry Diorio joins us with today's Cool Teacher winner. Sherry.
Kim and Lee, this Belding Middle School teacher heard about our contest and thought, cool teacher, well, that's a nice way to honor young, hip teachers. His students know that's not the only definition of a very cool teacher.
Dear WZZM 13, my cool teacher is Mr. Battaglia.
I nominate Mr. Battaglia at Belding Middle School for the Cool Teacher Award.
He is a cool teacher because he gives us a feel for important things.
Mr. Battaglia is filled with love, comfort, and kindness.
He has been through a lot of hardships. His oldest son, Joel, was murdered a few years back. Even though he doesn't show it, we all know he is sad.
Patrick, come on up, kid. That's where we were at when...
Mr. Battaglia, Mr. B as the kids call him, doesn't know yet the kids have written to WZZM 13.
You're just estimating that'll be close enough.
He doesn't really know why we're getting video of his class.
Fortunately, it's not a math problem.
What he'll soon find out is the children brought us here. The tragedy of losing his son Joel almost 11 years ago has given Mr. Battaglia's students an outlook on life most sixth graders don't realize.
It's incredible.
What have you learned in your life? My attitude has totally changed.
Row one, come on up and take one of these, please. Followed by, followed by, followed by.
He hardly ever misses a day of school, even riding his bike there. During times alone, he deals with his deep personal loss.
He's been through so much stuff, and it's like I can feel how he feels. Like I don't know all his pain, but I just feel bad for him.
In class, Mr. B's voice ebbs and flows.
Followed by, followed by, followed by.
Washing over his children in waves of comfort.
I'll help you.
Mr. Battaglia has told me in the year, or us, that that yelling doesn't solve anything, that being calm and everything will help you better.
I'm going to try to find enough good hackle on this for you.
Mr. B is the water and his kids the fishermen, as Mr. B wants us to see how he incorporates tying flies into class.
He's like in love with tie flying in.
Some enjoy it because they get out of social studies. No? Some enjoy it just because it is an enjoyable pastime. And
finally, some enjoyment will belong to Mr. B. Principal Mike Wallace is in on the secret.
I told him that a film crew was coming up to film some teachers in the school and some kids. What they were actually coming to do was film Mr. Battaglia, okay, because a couple months back we nominated him as one of our really cool teachers in the building, and Channel 13 selected him as a really cool teacher in the Tri-County area, and we'd like to congratulate Mr. Battaglia, and let's give him a big round of applause, guys, okay?
thank you.
No, wow. Thank you for everything you do for the kids.
Oh, God
okay.
bless you. Well, I'm afraid to walk, I'll trip. If I talk, I'll stumble. But I gotta say this. At the beginning of the year, I said to you that those qualities about me that you like, thank my wife and my sons.
Most teachers teach us what we need to know for life. He does a much better job for that. He goes through his hardships and tells us about it, tells about his life, and compares it to what we have to learn for our life.
We were blessed with a son that would always hug us goodnight. I have also suggested that they give their parents a hug every night. Tell them they love them.
When he told my class that we should all tell our parents we love them and give them a hug goodnight, I've done that ever since he told us that story.
It's just something that has to be because you do not know.
Mr. Battaglia says his son Joel is always with him. His students know Mr. Battaglia will always be with them, cleansing their spirit.
I will never forget him. He's made my life so different than it was when I was in 5th grade. It's almost like I've grown up, died, and come back because he just created a new me.
Man has such a profound effect.
Absolutely. And we have no dry eyes in this video. He's a cool teacher.
What a difference he's made in their lives.
Changed them completely, and but he finds such joy in them too, and that's what's so important to him too. While he has them and he has his younger son Jeremy,
we also need to note that the murder of his son Joel has never been solved.
Wow, what strength he has. Thank you so much. And congratulations to all the cool teacher winners.
They're all wonderful, and each in their own way.
Sounds like they have some cool students there too.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry.